Many centuries ago, in a secluded corner of the world, where the mountains rose like sleeping giants and the valleys were covered by the gentle breeze of eternal spring, there lay the small but prosperous village of Umudu. A place blessed by nature, where the land generously gave its fruits, and the river that flowed through it was a true elixir of life. Umudu was not only known for its fertile lands but also for the goodness of its people, who lived in complete harmony with the cycles of nature. The villagers grew corn, millet, pumpkins, and peas with a deep respect for the earth, knowing that every seed they planted was a pact with Mother Earth. However, the villagers did not only rely on their agricultural and livestock skills to survive, they also deeply trusted the protection of a spiritual entity that had watched over them since time immemorial. This entity was Ozoriji, the guardian serpent of the spirit, who had been sent by the gods to protect Umudu and ensure its prosperity. Ozoriji was no ordinary serpent. Unlike other creatures of the natural world, her presence transcended earthly laws. Her scales gleamed like the purest copper, and her length seemed endless. Every movement of her body was so majestic that it seemed as though everything around her calmed with her passing. Her eyes, large as two polished emeralds, shone with the light of ancient knowledge, and in their depths reflected the secrets of the universe. The village sages told that Ozoriji had emerged from the heart of the earth in response to an ancient prayer from the ancestors, who feared that dark forces could end their life in this blessed region. The gods, seeing their devotion, sent the serpent as a guide and guardian for all the inhabitants of Umudu. Thus, the village flourished under the serpent's protection, the crops were abundant, wildlife posed no threat, and diseases were rare. Over generations, the relationship between the villagers and Ozoriji was woven with respect and devotion, making the serpent a symbol of protection and well-being. Every full moon, the villagers would gather around the temple dedicated to Ozoriji, built beneath a majestic iroko tree that stood at the edge of the village. This tree, considered sacred, was a meeting point between the human and the divine. There, the people offered fresh fruits, grains, and flowers, in addition to chanting songs dedicated to the guardian spirit. The words of gratitude and veneration were so powerful that it was said they reached the very heart of the gods. But, as often happens in great legends, a shadow fell over the peace of Umudu. One warm afternoon, when the sun was beginning to slowly set on the horizon, a boy named Chidi, known for his mischievous spirit and insatiable curiosity, decided to explore the most remote part of the river, right where it was said that Ozoriji came to drink. As he walked along the shore, he noticed something strange. The river's waters, usually crystal clear and as blue as the sky, had taken on a reddish hue. At first, he thought it was a reflection of the setting sun, but as he got closer, he could see that the current flowed with a tone that could only be described as blood. Chidi's heart raced, for he knew this was a terrible omen. He ran back to the village as fast as he could, not caring for his breath or the bushes brushing against his skin. When he arrived, he took a deep breath and went straight to the elder's house. He found the wisest of them gathered and told them what he had seen. The entire village fell into a deadly silence, for they knew that such signs were never good. That same night, the elders gathered under the dim light of torches to deliberate on the meaning of the omen. The eldest among them, Mama Adana, who was known for her ancestral wisdom and intuition, closed her eyes and whispered, "Blood in the waters. Death comes in shadows. The gods have spoken. We must seek counsel from Ozoriji." At midnight, the villagers gathered in silence around the iroko tree. The breeze blowing through the leaves sounded like distant whispers, while the full moon illuminated the field. The air was thick with palpable tension when a deep roar, like distant thunder, echoed from the serpent's sanctuary. From the sacred cave beneath the iroko tree, Ozoriji emerged. Her body was even more imposing than the villagers remembered. Her length seemed to cover the entire plain, and her gaze burned with an intense light, reflecting not only divine protection but also the gravity of the threat that loomed. "Open your hearts," said the serpent in a deep, echoing voice. A dark enemy approaches. The darkness they seek will destroy the balance we have maintained for centuries. But do not fear. You are the children of Umudu, and if your faith is firm, you shall prevail. To the north, beyond the hills and valleys, a man of insatiable ambition heard the stories about Umudu and its prosperity. This man was Oba Ajikaya, a warlord whose name was feared throughout the region. Ajikaya was not just a skilled warrior, he was a man whose hunger for power knew no bounds. His cold, calculating eyes were always searching for more wealth and land to expand his domain. Upon learning of Umudu's fertility, his greed consumed him entirely. He decided that the village should belong to him. He gathered an army of hundreds of men, equipped with sharp swords and iron armor, and began his march towards Umudu. News of Ajikaya's army soon reached the ears of the villagers. Fear gripped them, and some began to murmur about fleeing. However, Mama Adana, upon hearing the news, rose with the serenity of one who knows the secrets of destiny. We will not flee. We are the children of Umudu, and our faith in Ozoriji has sustained us for generations. Today, we will show that our unity is stronger than any sword or army. We will defend ourselves with the strength of our ancestors, she said firmly. The villagers prepared for defense. They knew they could not match Oba Ajikaya's army in number or strength, but they had something much more powerful: their faith, their unity, and their relationship with the guardian spirit. The men and women began fortifying the village. Access roads were blocked with fallen logs and hidden trenches, while farming tools were turned into makeshift weapons. The night before the enemy's arrival, the village gathered once again in the sanctuary of Ozoriji. The tension was palpable, and the prayers were more fervent than ever. The guardian serpent had promised to intervene, but the villagers knew their own bravery would be tested. At dawn, when the sun was just beginning to turn the horizon golden, the first ranks of Ajikaya's army appeared over the hill. Upon seeing the size of the army, the villagers felt a pang of fear in their hearts, but they overcame it with the strength that only faith can provide. When the sound of hoofs and trumpets filled the air, a deep roar, much louder than any man's, echoed across the plain. Ozoriji had returned. The ground vibrated with each movement of the serpent, who emerged from the forest, her body shining under the moonlight. Her gaze was like fire, her breath a wind that swept everything in its path. When Ajikaya's soldiers saw the imposing figure of the serpent, a deep panic gripped them. But Ajikaya, instead of being intimidated, shouted a challenge. "Let the battle begin," he roared, sending his army against the village. Ozoriji, with incredible speed, attacked. Her body, like a river of bronze, crushed the enemy lines. Every strike of her tail was an earthquake, every bite from her fangs, a death sentence. The battle was fierce, but fear gripped the invading army. No man could withstand Ozoriji's fury. Oba Ajikaya, seeing his army crumble, tried to escape, but luck was not on his side. The serpent, faster than ever, surrounded him with her enormous and powerful coils, and with a final movement, dragged him into her cave, where the sound of his scream faded into the darkness. The battle ended in an awe-inspiring silence. The villagers gathered before Ozoriji, their protector, thanking her with tears and songs of gratitude. The serpent, her body still glowing from the victorious battle, spoke once more. "Your faith has been tested, and you have proven your worth. As your ancestors did, you have remained steadfast. My protection will continue as long as you remain united. In your faith lies true strength." With those words, Ozoriji bid them farewell, sliding once again into her cave. The villagers, though sad at her departure, knew that their faith and unity were the greatest legacy they could have. The legend of Ozoriji lived on through the centuries, told and retold in every generation, always reminding the people of Umudu that faith and unity can conquer even the darkest of shadows.
Thanks for watching. If you liked it, please give it a like and subscribe.